One of the important facts about the conversion of St. Paul is understanding that he was sincerely seeking to do the will of God. He was a devout Jew who thought those who were following Christ or those who were following the way were in some sense heretics and blasphemers. For the Christian claim, the claim of Christ himself is the fact that he is God. He mentions, before Abraham was, I am, and I and the Father are one. Further, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. And these are radical claims. And in some sense, St. Paul thought in his actions he was doing the work of God. He thought he was persecuting Christians who were entertaining this false belief about God. But it was the contrary. After the grace of conversion, he realized he was acting out of ignorance, and God was merciful to him because of this. But radically, this happens in every conversion by grace, God reveals to man his error, and he leads him by the hand by those who know Christ in his church. In one sense, living God speaks boldly, proclaiming, "This is my beloved Son." And he speaks this to the heart of man. More to the point, the Christians' early church were just trying to follow the Son of God and become holy in their lives, were being persecuted unjustly. And our Lord identifies with those who are being persecuted unjustly. And he does this even to this day. He reveals to St. Paul, "This is my new eternal covenant." For a living God identifies himself with the early Christian people by proclaiming to him, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" And God boldly confronts this sinful man by his own divine power. Jesus Christ reveals here the gates of hell will not prevail against his church without his intervention for the conversion of that soul, or by striking them down. For the conversion of St. Paul began a real power shift from the Pharisees to the apostles. For as we move through history, we recognize the destruction of the temple in 70 AD and the progression of Christianity, even in the midst of persecution. Then there becomes almost this dominant reign of the church, even to this day. Primarily not because of its people who are sinners, who are in need of God's mercy, some who become saints, and some who are just average people trying to be good, but because God dwells in it. God established the means of salvation for the whole world through his Son and his church, and the way to enter into that salvation is through baptism. But further, because baptism is a birth into the spiritual life, and after birth we need milk, and we need a mother and father's instruction to become good and holy. Therefore, we need to learn further on how to follow Christ along the way to salvation through learning to be obedient to the church's teaching.